Okay, time to film something proper for a change. Yeah, sorry if you were expecting me to wave some stuff in front of your face. It's not going to be one of those videos today. I'm doing this more of a bit of a response to a bit of a current video topic that's been rolling around a couple of different people's feet, and it just sort of felt like the right time to do so. Yeah, you'll see I've got lovely new high resolution kit and all that kind of stuff, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it'll be quite nice. But yes, this goes out as a kind of roundabout response to Lee's latest offering. He's sort of resurfaced up from the depths of whatever peaceful place he's currently residing in outside of the internet, and he's spoken about community and what it means for us all to be making these videos essentially for each other. I saw Dan did a response as well, and I think Dorian's spoken a bit about it, and really this all comes from pretty much just me having a big long chat with Dorian the other day. Just sort of popped up, said hello, and we were just there talking about loads of good stuff that just made me feel really positive about just creativity and all that kind of thing. And I think if there's one thing that we can all take from belonging to this wider community that we all sort of put into and feedback from, it is that creative process. Because the kind of things that me and Dorian were speaking about, you know, the sort of ideas that we've got for videos that we'd love to make that we've never had a chance to, that maybe are a bit too ambitious, the kind of things that need someone else to give you a hand with, and these kind of ideas revolving around a kind of shared creative space and somewhere where we could just all physically get together, not just collaborate through chucking files on the internet and going, oh yes, I'll download that and edit that in here. Actually being there with each other to film things the way things should be filmed a lot of the time, where you can't just do it by yourself. And that idea just really got me thinking. I thought, yes, that's just something that's too good to sort of just let drop completely. But of course, how do you set something like that up? I mean, of course, yes, as I mentioned, we have done collaborations before. I mean, hell, I've done the biggest one ever. Is it the biggest one ever? I don't know. Kind of like to think that I did do something pretty good with that All Stars Assemble video I did. Kind of should be my magnum opus, but I look at it and kind of think it's not great. I don't know. But that's not through the fault of anyone who put their stuff into the hat. It's me sort of stirring that hat up and maybe dropping a couple of things on the way. I don't know. Collaborations are something which do happen, quite rarely, but they do happen, and I always enjoy to see them happen, because, again, it's another big strength of the kind of community that we exist in, is that everyone's just sort of up for lending a hand. Everyone is sort of a fan of someone else, and then even if you're not a fan of this particular person, they might be a fan of you through someone else, or you know, it's a kind of vicarious connection to some people sometimes, and other times it's more direct. Like, I've got to put that out there now and say, I think probably Dorian is maybe my best friend among the TFC. Kind of feels like we've had the chance to just sort of sit and talk a lot more, and that was especially through like Auto Assembly last year, where I'm sure I just spent most of the weekend just chatting with him. So I think it all depends on these kind of strengths of connections between people, but there's always room to strengthen those, and I think that's maybe what Dorian was trying to do when he started having a chat with me the other day. And that's certainly something I'd like to do with more people. And then, you know, you can get the ball rolling with more creative things, with more people, get everyone involved into something really big and ambitious and something really cool that you can really have some good fun making. And I think that's kind of where, ultimately, all of this sort of thing should lead. Because at the end of the day, yes, we all make videos about plastic robots, but it's kind of like, that's just your admission ticket. That's your foot in the door to this particular community we belong in, where everyone, like Lee said, belongs in all these different spheres of influence that kind of intersect in different ways through different media. But at the end of the day, the sort of Transformers side of it is just a kind of thin strand that links everyone in, and everyone will have another thing to do with them that sort of branches off into something else. So I think if there was ever any time or any way that we can draw upon those kind of extraneous, extrapolated skills of people, then that would just be really good, wouldn't it? Because it's like, Dan does his music on the side. So does Drew. You know, he's got his little bandy thing at the moment, which I have to admit I've yet to give a proper look at, but that sounds pretty cool. You know, everyone's got all these different things that they do creatively, like Lee with his art, Sammy's got his drawing. It's all very much a kind of conglomeration of creativity that is drawn together simply by the fact we all like Transformers. But that shouldn't be the be-all and end-all. It should now be able to branch out, because we've all been members of this community for so long, into different things. Being able to sort of say, oh, you know, I enjoy doing a bit of that. I like a bit of drawing. I like a bit of filmmaking. Why don't we have a go at something a bit more ambitious and see where it goes? So I guess if there's some kind of point to take out of this pretty rambly long thing I'm spitting out now, it's that I think it would be really cool if we could all get together and do something a bit more interesting. Perhaps at Auto Assembly itself. And if you're not going, then, well, I'm sorry. Of course, everyone in America, like Dan or Drew, yeah, sorry. But still, that doesn't mean that you can't get involved somehow. And I really like the idea of just sometime in the summer, just loads of us saying, yeah, let's do something together. Let's see what we can make as a big old team, and maybe make something that's really cool, and get some use out of the TFYTC YouTube page that only like Dorian or Stu has ever posted in, that seems to be laying a bit dormant, and I think we could really do a lot more with that. But yeah, community, that's what this is all about now, for me, really. I mean, I've never been in this for the views, or the subscriber count, or any of all that kind of superfluous YouTube puffery that people do, where it's like, oh, like, share and subscribe. No, I'm not in that for that. I'm in this for being able to say things to people who live thousands of miles away that I still count as a friend, even though I've never met them. That's what this is all about, and that's what we should be encouraging more and more, because, you know, you drop the ball, then people are going to get left out, and that's never cool. We don't want to ever drop the ball on this kind of thing, and yeah, there are times when videos go a bit dry, and then there are times when everyone decides to make one for no reason. It's like, oh, okay, there's loads of stuff here today. But what it needs to be about is that kind of steady stream of creativity, because that's what we're all in this for at the end of the day. Being able to show off our skills in making things and enjoying the kind of things that other people make. It's all very much, I suppose, like I said before, that kind of you put in what you get out what you put in kind of cycle, and that's always a good thing, and I think we should continue to try and make it better, because there's always room for improvement. I'm very aware that I've just been talking for quite a while without actually really realising where I was going to sort of start, and I went into this video not really knowing quite what to say. But I've said quite a bit, and hopefully I've made a few of you think about some stuff that could be quite cool, and let's wait and see, you know. You've got to sort of put this energy out there to be received by the right people, then cool things can start to come from it. So let's see if this summer can be a bit more creative and generally just full of fun video stuff, but maybe not just video stuff, maybe drawing and music and things like that. Just general good creativity where we can all enjoy what everyone else is making and be like, oh, that's really good, well done. Because that's always nice, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, we are a bit of an artistic community, really, aren't we? It's all about appreciating everyone else's work and kind of acknowledging what everyone's doing, be it good or bad, and having an opinion on some of those things. Going, oh yes, I like this, yes, that's good, yes. Oh yes, have you seen their latest thing? Yes, that's nice. And that kind of dialogue is always nice to keep open. So there's one closing point for me to make from all of this fluff I've been saying. It's that let's continue to make this community a nice place to be in, and maybe make it a bit better as we go along. And in the process of doing that, don't ever feel like you can't share your ideas with people, because as from what I've experienced, everyone's always up for hearing a good idea or being given a good idea, and that kind of exchange of good creativity is something that a lot of people value, and it's definitely worth your time if you feel that way inclined. And at the very least, we can all start chatting to each other a bit more and make AA the proper belter of a blowout party that it should be, where we can always be like, way, instead of like, oh yes, hello, yeah, how are you? Good to see you. Nah, don't do that. No. We greet each other by yelling this year. Or at least that's how you can greet me. you know, when it comes to it, feel free to shout my name from across the dealer room, because that's how Dorian greeted me last year. If there's any kind of climactic endpoint to any kind of build-up of good energy that we're creating right now, then it has to be at AA, and it has to be through getting very drunk and having a good old laugh, standing around the hotel bar. I can't wait! It's gonna be mental! Yes! Bring on auto assembly, yes! Come on. Can it be August now? I've been done with all these exams, please. Big up the TFYTC.